Okay, we are now looking at target B, similarity to solve problems. So our first master learning objective is I can solve for the missing side of a triangle by setting up proportions. Okay. So what is a proportion? A proportion is a statement. Actually, I'm going to move this up a little bit. A statement that states two ratios Ratios are just fractions. Right? A statement that states two ratios or fractions are equal. So for example, A over B equals C over D. That is a proportion. Then we have what we call the cross product property. We use the cross product property to solve proportions. And the cross product property states the product of the numerator and the opposite denominator, if I can spell, is equal to the product of the other numerator and denominator. That's a lot of words. What does that mean? Right? Remember, numerators are just the number on top of a fraction. Denominators are the numbers on bottom. Product means you're multiplying. So the product, so multiplying the numerator and the opposite denominator. Okay, so if I multiply my numerator and the opposite denominator, that means I'm multiplying these two. That's equal, right, A times D, that's equal to the product, so again I'm multiplying, of the other numerator and denominator. B times C. So that's all the cross product property. It's also often called the butterfly method because, right, these can look like beautiful wings of my beautiful little butterfly. However you would like to remember it is fine. So, looking at example 1, we're just going to solve some proportions. I'm going to make my beautiful butterfly. So I have 2 times 9 equals 3 times x. Okay. Simplifying, 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times x is 3x. I'm solving for x, so I need to do the opposite. I need to divide by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6, equals 3 divided by 3 is just 1, so I'm left with that 1x. X equals 6. Looking at example 2, same thing, beautiful butterfly. 6 times 5 equals 2x times 7. 6 times 5 is 30. 2x times 7, well 2 times 7 is 14x. Same thing, my x is here, so I have to divide by 14. 30 over 14 gives me 15 sevenths. 14 over 14 is x. I would prefer that your answers, unless it's a real world problem, be given in fraction form, not decimals. If you're using the TI Inspire, it will automatically give it to you in fraction form. If you are not using our classroom calculator and you do not know how to get your answer into a fraction, please just ask. I know how all the calculators work. I can help you so that you can have the right answer. Okay? All right. Let's look at then some examples for finding the missing side of a triangle. So JKL is similar to PQR. Find the missing side length. So for these, you just have to decide which one you want to be your pre-image and which one you want to be your image. It doesn't really matter as long as you stay the same. So remember, K is P over I. So I'm going to say this is my pre-image. It doesn't equal P over I, it equals I over P. Equals image over pre-image. Going crazy. So I'm going to set up, since this tells me these two triangles are similar, no matter what sides I use, their scale factor should be the same. So I'm just going to set up a proportion. Okay? This side in proportion with this side. So I over P should equal I over P for my other two sides. So 33 over, I don't know what this is, so we're just going to put an X there. Okay? So we're just setting up those proportions for I over P equals I over P because these triangles are similar. Now that we've done that, we draw our beautiful butterfly. (42 times x is 42x. 28 times 33 is 924. The next thing I have to do, right, this is technically being multiplied, do the opposite to divide. Right, this is 42 divided by 42 is 1. 924 divided by 42 is, if you can do it in your calculator, that's fine. So x equals 22 there. All right, looking at example 4, there is a typo. All right, triangle TUV is similar to triangle MLK. And this is important because the order of the letters tells you what pieces are the same, what pieces go together here. So we're still using this, right? So our pre-image and our image. So when I do I over P, and I'll start with KL. Since this has kind of been rotated around, what side does it go with? It's sometimes hard to see if it's been rotated and reflected, and they're kind of similar. Right, so I'm going to look at the letters. K to L is here. Ah. It's the last two letters, so I need to look at U to V. Right, so 130 goes with 60. Then the other number I have, right, is between L and M. L and M goes with U and T. Okay, and that's your X. Okay, so if you're having trouble deciding what goes together to set up that proportion, look at the names of the triangles. Okay. Then, beautiful butterfly. 130 times X equals 60 times 117. 130 times x is 130x. 60 times 117 is 7,020. going to divide both sides by 130. 7,020 divided by 130 is 54. Okay? So this missing side is 54 units long. All right, now go ahead and turn the page. The last thing we're going to do is just some word problems. For these word problems, the only different thing is that we have to draw our own picture. Okay? So, at a certain time of day, a 1.8 meter tall person standing next to the Washington Monument casts a 0.7 meter shadow. Here's my person. Their shadows are on the ground. A lot of people want to draw shadows standing up next to you. I have never seen my shadow standing up next to me. So unless you're Peter Pan, your shadow is on the ground. Okay. So he is 1.8 meters tall, and his shadow is 0.7. This is a triangle. This is like the ray of the sun, which causes that shadow to go there. Okay, so the rays of the sun complete that triangle. Then we have our Washington Monument. It also gets a shadow. Its shadow is 65.8 meters. And we want to know how tall this is. Okay. So again, K, same type of thing. K equals I over P. This is going to be my pre-image and my image. So from I first, X, right, their heights are going to match up. And then the shadows are going to go together. Image and then pre-image. So, drawing my beautiful butterfly. X times 0.7. Equals 1.8 times 65.8. So that's 0.7x equals 118.44. I'm going to divide by 0.7x. Not by x, just divide by 0.7. So x equals 169.2 meters. Okay? Again, since this is a real world problem, it's okay to use decimals instead of fraction. Alright, looking at our next word problem. Before rock climbing, Darius wants to know how high he will climb. He places a mirror on the ground 34 feet from the base of the cliff. He then walks backward until he can see the top of the cliff in the mirror. Okay. So here's my cliff. I have a mirror on the ground. Here's my mirror. And then Darius is on the other side of the mirror. Okay? He is looking at it, and then in that mirror, he sees the top of the cliff. So these angles created are the same. I know it doesn't look it in the drawing, but that's okay. And that's how you get these similar triangles for this one. Okay. So the mirror is 34 feet from the base, means bottom of the cliff. Okay. He walks backwards. Darius is 5.5 feet tall and is 6 feet from the mirror. I want to know the height of the cliff. Okay. So again, my scale factor equals the image over the pre-image, I over P. So, whichever, again, does not matter which one's your image or your pre-image for these ones. It's just nicer to label them so that you do the right one, the right order, both times. So I will start with this X, height over height, right? Is going to equal distance over distance, right? I over P. Draw your beautiful butterfly. X times 6 is just 6x. 5.5 times 34 is 187. I do want to show this one on the calculator. Just because this is a real world problem, I want it as a fraction. And my calculator is not, this calculator is not going to give it to you as a fraction. Okay? So what I need to do if it's not a fraction is go to menu, number, and just convert to decimal. And I get 31 point, I'm going to say 17. Actually, I'm only going to go 1 decimal place because my only decimal in the problem is to 1 decimal place. So we're going to do 31.2. Again, if you have a different calculator and you need help with, if it's not giving you a decimal, you need help, raise your hand, let me know. All right, I am not going to do example 3. It will be a supplemental note problem in a different video, but it is not required. Okay, so if you do not want to watch it, that is fine. I will see you guys tomorrow and we'll work on our activities.